The cranberry sauce splattered across the white tablecloth like blood from a fresh wound, the glass bowl shattering on Aunt Clara's polished oak floor. My cousin's laughter froze, forks hovering mid-air as Uncle Ray's voice boomed. "Jesus, Ellie, you can't even pass a dish without screwing it up." The dining room, heavy with the scent of roasted turkey and tension, seemed to hold its breath. I stood there, hands trembling, my navy dress stained with red streaks, feeling every eye in the room dissect me. The family failure, the black sheep, the one who never got it right. But it wasn't the spilled sauce that burned. It was the weight of their smug pity, the way their smiles said, "Poor Ellie, always a mess." And then there was Sarah, my sister, sitting primly at the head of the table, her diamond earrings glinting like tiny accusations. She didn't laugh. She just sighed, her lips curling with that familiar mix of disappointment and superiority. I wanted to scream, to tell them all I wasn't the disaster they thought. But the truth, I wasn't sure I believed it myself. I'd spent weeks dreading this Thanksgiving, knowing the ritual humiliation that awaited. Sarah's house, a gleaming monument to her success. Marble countertops, crystal chandeliers, a life I'd never touch, made my rented studio apartment feel like a cardboard box. She was the golden child, the lawyer with the perfect husband, Mark, and their 2 flawless kids. Me. I was the 32-year-old temp, bouncing between dead-end jobs, my art degree gathering dust. But I'd clawed my way to something, a small bookkeeping gig for a local firm. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Still, every glance from Sarah felt like a scalpel, peeling back my skin to expose the failure beneath. That night, as I scrubbed cranberry stains from my dress in the guest bathroom, the mirror reflected a woman I barely recognized. Pale, eyes shadowed with doubt. My phone buzzed on the counter. A text from Jamie, my assistant at the firm. "Ellie, you need to see this. Found something big. Meet me after dinner." My stomach twisted. Jamie was meticulous, almost obsessive, poring over ledgers like they were treasure maps. Her urgency felt like a storm cloud creeping closer. I typed back, "What's up? Can it wait?" Her reply was instant. "No. It's about Sarah." The dining room felt different when I returned. The clink of wine glasses and forced chatter couldn't mask the undercurrent of unease. Sarah was holding court, recounting her latest case win, her voice smooth as silk. Mark, her husband, leaned back, his arm draped casually over her chair, but his eyes darted to me, lingering a beat too long. I'd always thought he was too polished, his smiles too practiced, but Sarah adored him. Who was I to judge? I sat, picking at my plate, my mind snagged on Jamie's text. What could she have found? Sarah's life was airtight, bank accounts flush, career soaring, marriage a glossy magazine spread. But as I watched her laugh, her hand brushing marks, a memory flickered. Her whispered phone call last month, the one she'd cut short when I walked in. Her face flushed with something like guilt. Dinner dragged on, each bite of stuffing tasting like ash. My cousins lobbed their usual jabs. "Still painting, Ellie? Got a gallery show yet?" But my thoughts were elsewhere. Jamie's words gnawed at me, a splinter I couldn't dislodge. When the table finally cleared, I slipped out to the porch, the November air biting my skin. Jamie was waiting in her beat-up Civic, her face pale under the streetlight. She didn't waste time. "Ellie, I was cross-checking client accounts and Sarah's firm is in trouble. Big trouble." She handed me a folder, her hands shaking. "They're hiding it, but they're bankrupt. And there's more. Look at the transfers." The numbers swam before my eyes. Pages of transactions, withdrawals, accounts I didn't recognize. Sarah's name was everywhere, tied to shell companies siphoning funds. My heart pounded, a sickening rhythm. "This can't be right," I whispered. She's perfect." Jamie's eyes softened, but her voice was steel. "She's been skimming client money for years. Mark's in on it too. They're covering their tracks, but I found the paper trail." My knees buckled. Sarah, my untouchable sister, a fraud. And Mark, her perfect partner, complicit. I wanted to laugh, to call it a mistake, but the numbers didn't lie. Jamie did. She'd never get this wrong. Back inside, the family was in the living room, sipping coffee, oblivious to the bomb in my hands. Sarah caught my eye, her smile faltering. "Ellie, you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." Her voice was honey, but there was a crack in it, a tremor I'd never noticed before. I clutched the folder, my pulse a drumbeat. Should I confront her now, in front of everyone? Or wait, dig deeper, give her a chance to explain? My mind screamed betrayal, but my heart clung to the sister who'd once braided my hair, who'd promised we'd always have each other. I thought of her late-night calls, the way she'd started avoiding my questions about work. The signs were there, but I'd ignored them, too busy drowning in my own inadequacy. "Ellie!" Mark's voice cut through my haze. He was closer now, his hand brushing my arm, his eyes searching mine. "You're awfully quiet." There was something in his tone, too smooth, too careful. My skin crawled. Was he testing me? Did he know what I held? I forced a smile, my voice brittle. "Just tired, Mark. Long day." He nodded, but his gaze lingered like a predator sizing up prey. I excused myself, retreating to the kitchen, the folder burning in my hands. The room spun. Granite counters, the hum of the fridge, the faint scent of cinnamon. My sister, my hero, was a lie. And yet, I didn't want to believe it. Maybe she had reasons. Debts, pressures I couldn't understand. Maybe she was trapped. My mind churned, torn between love and rage, loyalty and justice. I heard footsteps behind me. Sarah. Her face was soft, concerned, but her eyes were sharp, like she could see the folder through my skin. "Ellie, what's going on? You're acting strange." I opened my mouth, but the words caught. The folder felt like a grenade, one pull of the pin away from destroying everything. I know, Sarah," I said, my voice barely a whisper. Her face froze, the mask slipping for a fraction of a second. "Know what?" she asked, her tone too light, too casual. I held up the folder, my hand steady now. "This. You're firm. The money. Everything." The kitchen went silent, the air thick with the weight of her guilt. Then she laughed, a sharp, jagged sound that cut through me. "Oh, Ellie. Always so dramatic. You think you've caught me in some grand scandal." She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a hiss. "You're out of your depth. Go back to your little job, your little life. Leave this alone." But her eyes betrayed her. Fear, desperation, a crack in the perfect facade. And then Mark appeared in the doorway, his face unreadable. "What's going on here?" he asked, his voice calm but laced with menace. My heart sank. They were in this together, a united front against me. The family failure, holding their ruin in her hands. I could expose them, bring their world crashing down. But at what cost? To my family, to my heart, to the sister I still loved despite everything. I stood there, the folder trembling in my grip, knowing whatever I chose would change us forever.